Welcome, everyone. My name is Anaya Robinson. My pronouns are she or they, and I'm the Director of Policy and Organizing for the ACLU of Alabama. So really, what we wanted to do today is to tell y'all the story of our voting rights work in the hopes that you'll join us on this journey. But before we get into it, I want to turn it over to our amazing voting rights team so that you can get to know them and just hear a little bit about what we're doing today. We're going to go back all the way to the beginning, y'all, which for us is Allen v. Milligan. So just to give you a little bit of context about Allen v. Milligan, it was the case where the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Black voters who were based in the Black Belt. So in that case, the ACLU, joined by amazing partners, litigation teams, and plaintiffs, we challenged the legislature's 2021 congressional map. And basically, we argued that it violated the Voting Rights Act and it diluted Black political power. And so essentially what this meant is that the legislature had to redraw its congressional map. That is what the Supreme Court said. And so the legislature did get together, except they created a second map that still failed to include the second opportunity district or comply with the Voting Rights Act. And so then the court had to assign a special expert to draw a map that had that second district to ensure that Black voters had the representation that they deserve. And so thankfully, we have that district in place. You'll see it at the bottom of your screen. It's shaded in dark purple. And that district has two candidates running for it, Caroline Dobson and Shamari Figures. And it's actually on your ballot next month if you live in that part of the state and you're registered to vote. So now that I've kind of set the stage and talked a little bit about that case, I'm going to turn it over to Sam so he can explain a little bit about how we're showing up for voters in Alabama. Thanks, y'all.
Perfect, and thank you again, Anaya, for turning it over to me. So we were able to see, granted on the Milligan decision, we were able to see that we have areas of progress and pockets of progress that we can make when it comes to getting people to the polls. So in Alabama specifically, we have about 5 million people within the state and about 3.8 million people actually registered to vote. So that's about 93% of people who are within that voting age population are registered. But the issue with Alabamians is that we have an issue with turnout. And so just a prime example that was right here in 2022, as you can see on the screen, the 2022 midterms, only 37.3% of eligible voters turned out to vote, and ranking Alabama as the fifth lowest, having the fifth lowest turnout rate nationwide. So as we go to the next slide here, we are focused and we created Project MOVE. So MOVE itself is an acronym, which stands for Making Our Voices Echo. And that's what we're trying to do to help get people to the polls. But just telling people to go out and vote just isn't going to cut it. And so that's why the ACLU of Alabama, we have a community-centered approach that addresses why folks don't vote. And so as you all can see here on the screen, we're investigating the barriers to the ballot, identifying potential voters' biggest issues, and providing real community care and resources to address Alabama's concerns, so we're able to see an increase in that turnout. And next slide. And so here are just a few ways in which we're showing up here. So we're doing it through voter town halls. We're partnering with faith-based organizations, getting the community involved around the issues that are most important to them, and showing folks that we care about the issues and we're looking to provide equitable solutions in order to make this happen. And so with that, as you can see, high school voter registration events and just showing up in the community, period, is the focus and the goal of the ACLU. And that's what we're looking to continue to do with our Project MOVE long-term plan. And with that, I'll turn it over to my colleague, Ms. Kenya Shavers.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Sam shared a little bit about our goal to really dig into community and build trust and build relationships across the state. More specifically, we have been working in congressional districts 2, 5, and 7, where there are the most amount of registered voters, but least amount of turnout. And so during this outreach across these congressional districts, we have been uh, finding that folks are experiencing issues with food insecurity. Folks are just not talking to their elected officials about the issues that they are experiencing in their communities. And often, if they are talking to elected officials about their issues, then they're talking to the wrong elected officials. And so we've also been extremely intentional about being sure that we are educating voters about where to place their issues and what offices they should be addressing their issues with. Um, we realized that a majority of voters who have been surveyed feel like their voice and their vote doesn't matter. And so, again, through our surveys and through our findings, our goal is to be sure that we build trust in our community so that they know that we are here to not only get them to the polls, but to support their needs. Continued engagement. Um, Obviously, politics just doesn't happen during election years. It's all around us, all the time, everywhere. And the message that we really want to be sure that we highlight is that not only do our voices matter, not only is it our responsibility to make our voices echo in our communities and across the state, but it's also crucial that we continue to build relationships beyond our neighborhoods, beyond our churches. And so, throughout our continued support, and throughout our continued engagement, again, our goal is to be able to bring in more volunteers within our network. The goal currently is to be able to connect with over 100 volunteers before Election Day. We are close to that number. And so being able to connect with HBCUs across the state, with our partner organizations across the state, has really helped us build and garner relationships to go deep into communities where voters need to know that their voices matter and that they should be heard. Shayla.
Hi, guys. So before I get into voter deadlines, I just want to tell you a little bit about why I'm here and what election protection is. Election protection is a nonpartisan program that protects all voters by providing information, resources, and help before, during, or post voting. And that's any issue that you may encounter while you're there. And an election protection advocacy aims to create voter support, education, and awareness for all voters across the electorate. So that means voters who are ADA, voters who go to the polls, voters who do absentee ballot by mail, or voters who do absentee balloting in person. We're here to support everyone that wants to vote freely and fairly in every election. And so, as you guys know, we're about 27 days away from the ballot box on November 5th for the presidential primary election. And so these are some voter deadlines that you should be aware of. October 21st is the voter registration deadline for the state of Alabama. October 31st is the last day to apply for absentee ballot in person. November 5th, of course, absentee ballots may be returned by mail by 12 p.m., and this is 12 p.m. on election day. October 29th is the last day to apply for an absentee ballot by mail. You know, if you go online to the Secretary of State's website, you fill out an application, they mail that to your home, and then you get the actual ballot. So it's a two-step process, you guys. November 4th is the last day to hand deliver your absentee ballot. And then November 5th, of course, is election day. We look forward to seeing you guys at the polls everywhere across the state. Next slide, please. So, for election protection, historically in Alabama, election protection work has been solely executed by partisan groups, candidate, and private interest campaigns. Now, election protection programs ensure all voters can cast a ballot freely, fairly, and securely. This means people who have been disenfranchised, underrepresented, and suppressed in the electorate have support and understanding of who they're voting for, where they're voting, and what we're voting for. Election protection advocacy enhances voter awareness and empowers individuals to understand their rights and needs during their voter experience. But just in case something happens, you're unsure, you're uncertain, you're not secure, or the ballot area is not productive to your voting experience, call us. Call me now, Alabama. It's 866 Our Vote Live. You'll reach an internal member of the Our Vote Live team. They'll share your issues to our team, and we'll make sure we get you support. That may be contacting an elected official on your behalf. They may be finding advocacy or policy to support you on your behalf, or that may be making sure that you're at the right polling location and you're at the right place you need to vote. So again, if you have any problems, questions, concerns, call us, 866 Our Vote. Next slide. And although you're here today, the work does not just stop. As we said, politics are all year round. And in order for us to do our best work, we need you. So join us with Project Move, make your voices echo. If you scan this QR code, it links you into our entire calendar, top to bottom. Everywhere we're going, HBCU stops, community advocacy, any projects we're working on, we want you to be a part of that. Also, Kenya has made a mark to 100 volunteers, and I can't be the last one in the race. And then secondly, if you want to support our work at the ACLU of Alabama, please scan this link to donate. Every donation goes to the work that you're seeing to make us be a better team and help us reach our goals and support the community across the state. Nothing is taken for lack, and so all we need is your support to get things done. Scan with your phone, take a picture, and also share it to a friend. Next slide. I'll turn it back over to our great leader, Anaya.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sam, Kenya, and Shayla. So we do have a couple of minutes for Q&A. So we do ask that you use the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen to send us your questions, just so we can make sure that we're directing it to the person on our team who's best equipped to answer it. So far we have one question, and it comes from someone who wants to know how they can check their registration status. So Shayla, do you mind answering that for us?
Sure. To check your registration status, you can go to aclu.com and click the Project Move link, because we have all the resources there, including our 2024 Voters Guide, or you can go to sos.alabama.gov. This is the Secretary of State's website. He has a box on the left-hand corner. It's an icon that says Voter Registration Update. You click that link, follow the prompts, and it'll allow you to update your registration or check your polling location in about 5 minutes max.
Thank you, Shayla. I'm gonna throw you another one. So for someone who has been involved in the criminal legal system, how can that person check to see if they have had their rights restored, if they're able to vote?
We recently did some explainers. If you go to aclu.alabama.org, that is, do you need to check the box? This short, quick guide to understanding how people who have been justice involved can get their rights restored. It's laid out for you on there. It also provides links to the organizations that do help with rights restoration. All people who have been convicted of a felony in the state of Alabama do not lose their voting rights. We want to make sure that we advocate that and say that loudly from the hills. Some of people just need to register so they can vote. If they register now, they'll be able to participate in November. Those who do not qualify under those standards, we have a quick one-pager guide that walks you through what the charge is and what your steps are to get that eradicated and make sure that you can get your voter rights back. Oh, I'm sorry, it's ACLUalabama.org. I said that wrong.
Thank you, Shayla. So the last question that I'm seeing for now, which if you want to still submit your question in, there's time, is for someone who wants to know how they can get involved with Project Move. I saw Kenya, drop a link to that question that has a link to some events, but Kenya, can you just share a little bit about what that looks like?
Yeah, we would love for you to get involved with Project Move so that we can meet our goal of 100 volunteers. I have dropped the link for our interest form. It'll ask for your first name, your last name, your email, and your zip code, I believe. And then you will be getting updates on events. And you can sign up for those events at your leisure, canvases, phone banks, HBCU stops, town halls, etc. So check out our Project Move interest form.
So gonna stay with you, Kenya, for a little bit. Someone has asked if we've been showing up to football games because they feel like they've seen us at a classic. So would you like to share a bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. You have absolutely seen us at football games. So far, again, we are on an HBCU tour across the state. We're also touching quite a few classics. We were at Red Tails Classic here in Montgomery against Tuskegee and Alcorn, I believe it was. Maybe not Alcorn, Tuskegee and somebody.
Johnson C. Smith.
Yes, Johnson C. Smith. All of the football games are bleeding together at this point. But you will also see us at Magic City Classic. Last weekend we were at ASU's homecoming. This weekend we will be at A&M's homecoming in Huntsville. You'll also see us at Port City Classic. You'll also see us at Turkey Day Classic, and quite a few games in between that. So keep a lookout on our Project Move page, where you'll see all of our mobilized links, and you can stay up to date with us on where we will be moving across the state.
Also, so just, well, another question just popped in, but gonna handle this one first. So, Kenya, I believe you said at the beginning how many volunteers we were hoping to get. Can you just repeat that again?
Yeah, the big number is 100. We want to build relationships with 100 new volunteers across the state, north, south, east, and west. So wherever you are in the state, join us.
Awesome, awesome. And somebody wants to know if we're taking donations. Yeah, yeah,
Drop
we
a donation. Drop a
are.
donation.
Please. We are definitely taking donations, please, and thank you. So I don't see any more questions that have popped into the chat. Kenya, Cam, oh my God, Kenya, Sam, Shayla. Sorry, y'all. We have Cam and Sam on our staff. But Kenya, Sam, and Shayla, do you have any final closing thoughts that you want to share with folks before we wrap up for today?
I think the only thing that I would share is, one, thank y'all so much for being here and hearing about the work that we're doing across the state. It does not happen without us being able to share it with you all, and then y'all going and sharing it with more folks. So I want to encourage y'all to take the links that we've dropped in the chat, share them with somebody, send it in a text message, and y'all now know where we are and who we are. So if you need something, call us, email us, call us, Alabama. We're happy to help.
All of Alabama. I just want to piggyback off Kenya. I want to thank everybody for coming and participating today. We know usually lunch and learns are like long and tedious, but we wanted to pop in and show out, and invite you to come in and pop out with us, right? And so make sure that you are checking across your own table before we build tables for this election. Ask your friends, your families, your neighbors, are you registered? Do you have a plan to vote? Do you need some help? And if they do need help, please follow those links that we dropped in the chat to make sure you are supported in any way. One more time, 866 our vote. If you have any problems, questions, concerns, you just need to chat or check up on some things, make sure you call us. We'll be here for you all day on election day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, we are not going to keep you long because that's just not who we are as an organization, and we have a lot of work that we have to get moving. That was my attempt at a cringy dad joke. I probably didn't do so well, but anyway, just ignore it if that wasn't your thing. But thank you so much for being here. And if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. Please feel free to make a donation if you can, whether that's your time, your money, or your talent. We're just really, really happy to be doing this work, and we want to do it with you. So thank you so much again. This concludes our webinar for this afternoon.